Okay, so I believe everyone can see my screen and hear me clearly. All right, can you all help me by typing F if you can see my screen and you can hear me clearly? Type F if you can hear me clearly and you can see my screen. Awesome. Thank you so much for responding. Okay, so to start this session, I just wanted to make sure that everyone will have a good experience in learning with the management and learning what Radium development Berhad is all about. All right. With that being said, I wanted to make sure that everyone understand, right, that today's session, right, it's about education and also sharing on the company that Radium Management is going to share, and also to learn better from the management itself. All right. So because I believe some of you guys asked me, what do you think about this company? What do you think about that company? And we are very fortunate that we are able to get some time from the management and for them to provide us with information, all right, directly from them instead of you guys asking me. I believe you guys will be able to learn better and get much more quality answer from the management itself. Okay, so with that, I would like to invite the management. Okay, so in today's session, we are going to have three management, right? The first one is Datuk Gary Gunn, which is the Group Managing Director. All right, so type hi to Datuk so that you can see Datuk Gary Gunn is here to help you understand Radium development Berhad better. And the next one, we have Datuk Sydney. All right. Unfortunately, he won't be able to turn on his video because there's a technical issue on his end, but he will be participating in this session. And finally, we have Miss Sam, all right, which is the CFO for Radium Management Development Berhad. All right. So without wasting our time, I would like to invite Dr. Gary and Miss Sam to proceed with the sharing. Let me stop sharing. And then I think, Miss Sam, you can start share your screen. Okay. All right. So
shall we start?
Yeah, let's start.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our briefing. Okay, my name is Dr. Gary Gunn. You can just call me Gary. Okay. Please give me a few minutes of your time. I will summarize to you how unique we are. Okay. First, we are KL-centric property developer. When we do it in Kuala Lumpur, we expect we will be faced with fierce competition. Okay. But we know where to find our market position. So we are very, very strong for service apartment, condominium, Soho that we are selling. Okay. Price range is between 300,000 to 600,000 because this is the price range for those who are graduated and already working for a few years. They are our target buyers. The location we chose are always either one or more than one of the elements or criteria, all right? So such as LRT, MRT station within the walking distance or nearby the LRT, MRT station, or it's nearby the school or nearby the hospital, or easy accessible to the major highway or shopping mall nearby, all right? So the right location we choose will always increase our take-up rate. That can help us to build a very good track record, okay? Despite incorporated in 2013, our first launch was in 2017. For nearly 6 years, we have successfully delivered and completed 2.1 billion worth of GDV of projects. I think this is quite a remarkable amount, just in nearly 6 years. And then this track record show that the product we are selling are well received. People like it, and we continue to grow. The whole success must come from experience and hands-on management. I have more than 18 years of experience in this industry. In fact, I started off involved in this property development during 1998, which is the first project that our family started venturing in. So in 1998, everybody knows it is a crisis in Asia, but we brave enough to venture into this property industry, and we have succeeded. Okay, and then also in year 2000, we have a venture. Also, we started to start a development in a bigger scale, which is located in Setapak, Jalan Gendikang area. At that piece of land, we have about more than 2,000 units of squatters to be cleared. So at that time, we successfully cleared the squatters and relocate them to the flats, and then hence able to develop that piece of land. So if you've been to Setapak, Tar College area, 20 years ago and 20 years now is completely different. So now it's all the high rises, all the condos that we built, shopping mall and the commercial area. So we have successfully completely changed the area. Okay, and then of course until 2008 there is a subprime US subprime mortgage crisis. Well, we also succeeded. Okay, and then now some people might think that the sentiment for property market is not that good at the moment. But then trust me, I'm able to deliver. Okay. Okay. Next, about regarding the reward. Even though we have received a few awards, and there is no direct accounting value when receiving this award, but nevertheless, it does help increase the sales. And then for us, I would like to say that we are quite remarkable in the sense that if you look at the market share in terms of by value, we are at 10%. So meaning to say 10 units in Kuala Lumpur that sell, one of it is sold by us. Okay. And then according to the research also, Malaysia should achieve 85% urbanization. So in 2014, when that urbanization happened, it augured well, as we are a city developer. When urbanization happened, that means more and more people need a house in a KL area. So that because we are a city developer, that augured well for us. Okay, and then with all the good result, we think that is the right time to list the company. Sometimes when a company go for listing, people might have a negative perception that maybe this company might be out of cash or something. That's why they need to go for a listing. But I can assure you that is not the case. Okay. The moment that we list the company, or way before we list the company, meaning in year 2021 or year 2022, our company is in a net cash position, meaning to say the money we have in the bank is more than the borrowing. Okay, and then when a company can make money, first thing the investor might ask, do they pay dividend? The answer is yes, we do. We have a dividend policy of not less than 30% of profit. The dividend payout is not only to reward all the major shareholder and the investor also. Okay, we will continue to honor this because why? The reason very simple, because we as a promoter and a major shareholder, we still own 75% of the company share. So every single ringgit that we give out, we still receive 75 cents. So there's no reason for us not to honor this dividend policy. Okay. Next, Sam. Okay. So far, for our ongoing project, we have about 1.77 billion to invest. So 1.77 billion, I mean, and then this is very important because you want to invest into a company who have an ongoing business, who will give you a future revenue and earning will be more visible. So also from year 2013 until year 2022, we have, as mentioned just now, we have completed about 2.13 billion worth of projects. Okay. Just now I also mentioned about choosing the right location is very important. Okay, let me share with you the criteria we have for all the project of ongoing or completed project that we have. For example, the first one, PV9 and Vista Virajaya is actually located within a walking distance to Taman Melati LRT station, also nearby the TAR College. And then the next one, Platinum Splendor, is actually located at Jalan Semara, near easy accessible to the Duke Highway. And then the third one is Platinum OUG, located at the OUG area, and then also easy within walking distance to the LRT Kampung Muhibah. The last one is the Vista Center, is our ongoing project. We expect to complete in this third quarter of this year. Okay, it's also located near the Zhonghua Independent High School. Okay, and then the R Street Chancery is located at Jalan Ampang, where we launched it two months ago. It's located at between two hospitals. One is Gleneagle Hospital, and the other one is KPJ Ampang. And then there is also one proposed MRT station for this project. Okay, and for this residency Desa Timur, we expect to launch this project in the third quarter of 2023. This is a big project because the GDP is about 1 billion. So it's 2,400 units of residence. 1,002 of it is residency Wilayah, and the other 1,002 of it is open market units. Okay. Okay, let me, from the big picture you see, let me narrow down our ongoing project. The first one is the Vista Sentu Residences, the one at Jalan Sentu near the Zhonghua Independent High School. The GDP is 305.5 million. So this project is interesting in the sense that when we launch a project is during the COVID lockdown period, which is in the 2020. September 2020, we launched a project, and by the end of 2020, we have gathered about 75% sales. And then right now, the project has been fully sold, and we expect to hand over the key third quarter of this year. Okay. And then the second one, R Street Chancery Residences that we just launched, the total GDP is 474 million. Okay. The third one is the Residency Desa Timur, located at Salasau or Sungai Besi. Its total GDP is 1 billion. It's expected to be launched in third quarter 2023. Okay, for us as a city developer, if we hold a lot of land and not able to launch it fast enough, it will become a burden to the company. That's why our strategy is some of the land that we will go for joint venture. So such as this Mungkin Batu projects, we are going to joint venture. The land is at Kepok, is expect to launch in 2024, first half of 2024. And then also we have shortlisted 3 parcels of land. It's either we will go for joint venture or we will acquire the land. So these 3 parcels of land is 2 of it is located at Oakland Road area, and then another one piece of it is located at Sungai Besi. It's 3 parcels of land, but it's 2 projects. So we intend to launch also somewhere around 2024 and early 2025. Okay. Next is about the hotel business. Okay. For us, we think that because we are a property developer, rather than just keep on build and sell, we start to think of maybe to create a steady recurring income for the group. So that's why there's this idea of operating a hotel business. So the target operation business for this hotel is third quarter of 2026. And then also we have also in talk with few international brands. So hopefully maybe we can work with some of the international brands to elevate the whole image of these residences. Okay, for the ESG part, let me talk about the environmental. This Jalan Ampang project we have is one of the green building in Kuala Lumpur. So we also receive a gold certificate, green IE for this building. Okay. For governance part, we are strong in a sense. If you look at the photo, the chairman is former Dato Banda, former KL mayor, all right, Tan Sri Amin. And then the board composition is also good. You can see there's 4 ladies in the board, and then there are also quite a high caliber ladies. One of it is from from SC. One of it one of them is from Busa, and then one is from a former legal firm, and then the other one is the last one is from the a very successful business woman. Okay, and then for the social part also, we are quite strong in the sense that all the houses that we build are for the working class. Okay, as mentioned just now also, I have the experience of relocating all the squatters, so they are moving from squatters to their residences. So provide them a proper residence rather than they have to stay in a squatters area, right? So the next part is the financial part. I will let Sam to cover it.
Thanks, Dr. Kerry. I'm Sam. Good evening, everyone. So you can see our revenue from 2019 is 472.81 million. Then we are going to 588.07, 562.69 on 2021, but in 2022, 10 months is a drop of 300 million. Okay, let me tell you that developer we are different because we are not say that we now sell the project, then we can immediately recognize the revenue. Because one of the project, they need to be complete in about 3 to 5 year times. So like our cash flow also, we also receive progressively. So all is based on the completions of the project to recognize. So however, you can see our gross profit. Our gross profit is increasing. You see from 147.62 million, then increase to 168.07, then further increase to 178.1 million. Then for the 10 months, 2022, we still can get 131.48 million. Okay, so you can see our gross profit margin. We are quite good. It's about 25%. In 2020, as all you know that this time is the COVID time, so we drop a bit the GP margin, but in 2021 we catch up back with our normal profit margin. Okay, so how come we can get so high profit margin? Because of cost control. Our company very concerned on the cost. We will always review our actual and budget, and then to ensure that it's in line. And what's our strong in? We can source some more competitive material costs, and then we also have long relationship with our main con, so that they will give us a very good price because we are in the market for so long already. Okay, so what we earn, just Dr. Kerry mentioned that we will also distribute dividend to all the shareholders, not less than 30%. Okay, so it's from 2022 we start doing this. So in coming this year, we also distribute dividend as per. If you see our prospectus, you will saw that we will declare dividends in Q3 2023. It's a reward to all the investors which support us and then confident to us. Okay, for here you can see our gearing ratio. Our gearing ratio in 2019 is 0.48. Thereafter we improved to 0.35. Then after we improved to 0.24 again. So we really control our gearing ratio. So we don't want to get so much borrowing. We also but it's not mean that we didn't borrow. We will borrow some flexible loan for short term or more flexible. And then why we want to maintain so low gearing? Because if I want to have an opportunity, if we see some land or we see some good location thing, then they need a huge amount, I can easily get borrowing from the bank, because normally bank will not borrow to the company which is high gearing. So I want to keep it for future use. So we can increase once we see the opportunity. Okay. For the exercise, we raised 868 million new share, which one share is 0.5 cent. Actually, our product is for all the working class. So our share price also for working class. We hope everyone can be our shareholders. And then for now, this 273 million is for Malaysia public. So now we open this white form to everyone to apply our share. And then this 60 million is a pink form, and then 435 is meaty, and 100 million is the private placements. So the share we raised is 86 million. Therefore, the enlarged share cap is about 3.4 billion, and then the market cap is 1.7 billion. The majority of the fund, 434 million, what we use for acquire land bank. As a developer, land bank is very important. More land bank, that means you generate profit in future. Then we, as Dr. Kerry mentioned, that we also use 109.3 million for hotel construction. Because all our projects technically is very good, fully sold. They don't have any availability for us at this moment. So that's why we think that we need some recurring income for cover our overhead costs in the future. We only allocate 20% for repayment of bank borrowing. 80% is for the company to grow. And the most important is we didn't cash out any cash. All the money is go into the company for growth. Okay, so this slide, you can see that our promoter, substantial shareholder, they hold about 75% share. Why they hold so many shares in here? Because they are confident to the company. They also will do their job very good to help the company to grow further. So that's why we also share we pay the dividends, because every ringgit we pay out, the shareholder, the promoters, they get 75 cents. So this is what we say, please confident to us. We not like we listed and run away. We will sustainable and forever here to continue to gain more profit and give dividend to all the shareholders. Okay. So okay, our prospectus already launched, so you can buy it in our prospectus website. And the most important is you need to look at this closing date. This is our closing date, 16 May 2023. So don't just send in the white form in last minute, because sometimes you may face a problem on online banking or by bank draft. So need to prepare early so that so it's enough to catch our closing date for the IPO prospectus. Okay, then we will be ballot on 19th of May, a lot in 26th of May, and then listing date is 31st May 2023. Okay, after we have about 10 minutes brief. So this 10 point is what I want to summarize to you all what merit for Radium. The first is not offer for sale that you just keep on mentioning. We are our promoters is not need any cash. They didn't send they need the cash to catch up. No, all the money come in all for the company is in the company account to grow, to use, which I just mentioned. 80% is for growth, 20% is repair loan. After repair loan, our gearing ratio will further drop to 0.07. Okay, and the majority of the money is want to acquire land. Okay, and then our company, our profit, our gross profit is very good. That's why, because we will control our land cost to maintain that if it won't be so high, and then we also control our material cost. We will able to source the competitive price of the material cost and then introduce to our main con. And then we have a very good relationship with all the main con. So because we already work together and economic skill, we have a lot of projects, and then they can give us a very competitive price. So when we have a good profit margin, then cash flow also come in, and then our debt to equity ratio is also low. As for just like I mentioned, we need to maintain the low debt and equity ratio. We want to give the opportunity for when we want to acquire a land bank which need high cash flow. Okay. So I think other part I don't need to cover, because just now Dr. Gary already mentioned on governance, which is our ID, and ESG, which just now the green line of our Ambang project, and the social part that he convert the squatter compensation squatter to have a new house. So I think this is our presentations. Maybe I pass back the floor to the team. So can I stop the sharing? Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
So thank you, Miss Sam, and thank you, Dr. Gary. for the comprehensive sharing on your company. We really appreciate it. All right, guys. I hope those that joining us able to understand what this Radium basically is. All right. So during just to share with you all, during presentation by Dr. Gary, I'm quite intrigued with the idea of as a property developer. Three things that sort of like pull me back. One is why KL, that kind of things. I always have the opinions like there's a lot of property in KL. Why build another property in KL? Like because one, I'm not in that industry. Second is it's quite interesting to see property, developer team sort of like venture into hotel, and I really sort of like trying to understand like what kind of opportunity that we are looking into here as an investor, and how do we see this direction. And these are the ideas that I will wanted to understand better. Okay, so for those that in this in this webinar, okay, so as I've shared, all right, this will be a chill and sharing session where Dr. Gary and Miss Sam, all right, and also Dr. Siti will share the ideas about this company and share what they are going to do with Radium IPO, Radium Managed Development Berhad. And if you have any questions, all right, so please feel free to write down your questions, and I will pull your question, and then I will send this question to the management. But before that, all right, I have a lot of questions that I wanted to ask, all right, because I think by having this kind of questions, one, I learned a lot about this industry. Second, I just wanted to understand in depth how does the idea of property itself. All right. So my questions is maybe either Dr. Gary, you can sort of like give me an idea. Can you share a little bit of idea what do you see the property industry in Malaysia as general? All right, and maybe specifically in KL, because at the point of time, most of the project that is running and ongoing are mainly in KL. All right, so that will be the question. And do you have any plans to maybe venture out, go overseas, that kind of idea? Yeah. Dr. Gary, yeah, mute.
Okay, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yep, I can hear you.
Like just now I've shared with some of the slides, also mentioned there's a urbanization happening. So that's why the population in KL is keep on increasing. And also the tourists also come in. If after the pandemic, the tourists, we expect it to increase to pre-pandemic level to about 26 million. So when more and more people coming over, they might visit the KL, they tend to rent a unit or own a unit. Okay, so in that sense, we believe that the demand for KL property is still strong. And then for us, our price target is between 300,000 to 600,000, which is very affordable. Okay, and then the market right now for affordable housing is still quite strong. Okay, it's unless you are talking about those property that is above a million or maybe more than 800,000. At the moment, is quite difficult to sell. But then I believe the next up cycle of a property market is coming very, very soon. Yeah.
Got it. So from what I learned, you share that the 300 to 600K property value, this demand is still strong, and I assume this kind of project or product is mainly designed for those that working class, like you shared earlier on. All right. Yeah. So by the way, Zengi, if you have any question, you can just interrupt and ask as well. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So going into more understanding on the project that you're handling, do you mind share with us usually when you build a project, how does the take-up rate of this particular project usually going to happen? Like, do you aim for example, the residency, the new project that's worth 1 million that you're planning to build? What's the target take-up rate that you're sort of like projecting, right? I know this is something that is not sort of like easy things to do, but maybe you can educate us how do you see this and how does this sort of like idea can be projected in your future project.
Okay, just to share with you my experience.
Yeah.
The best record I had during the around 2009, 2010. So at that point of time when I launched the projects, less than a day. So meaning to say half a day, 900 over unit fully sold.
Wow.
Best record I had. All right. And
Wow.
then after that, the property usually it takes about 6 months to a year to be fully sold. So that is all the time that the time frame that we can achieve, about 6 months to a year, the whole project can be fully sold.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
really
quite
impressive.
fast. That's really,
really
impressive.
impressive.
Yeah. And another thing that what makes me sort of like trying to understand is that now at the current level Radium is, I understand that Radium started in 1998, and then it took you sort of like, now it's 2023, so roughly 10 years.
No,
for you
actually, to clarify, Radium is incorporated in 2013.
2013.
So 1998 is my personal in my family business. So at that time, I haven't even go to the university yet.
Wow.
A trainee in that projects. So yeah.
Meaning to say you have been seeing that kind of projection from when you were a trainee.
Yeah.
That's really.
I mean, during the 1998 is difficult time. It's a difficult time. It's not so easy to sell also because 1998 is a financial crisis, Asia currency crisis at that time. So, but we also succeeded because through our hard work and dedication, unit by unit, at the end of the day, we completely sell the 200 over unit for that particular project. Yeah.
Awesome. That's a really motivational story to learn from. All right. So my next question will be still under property. All right. So the idea that I'm seeing is Radium. All right. Basically, you're focusing mainly in KL, and that's one. All right. Second is the target customer will be usually those that working clients, and your price range will be around 300 to 600 K products. All right. Any plan that you are foreseeing? All right. Let's say you're anticipating a good property upcycle that you are planning to build a much more premium product, right, for 1 million and above property, and this will be targeted by T20 clients of expats, these kind of people. Do you foresee you are going to do this?
Actually, currently the project at Jalan Ampang, so it's still affordable, but because the size is small, and then per square foot wise is about 800, 900 per square foot. So it's quite a premium price, but then because the size is smaller, so the selling price end up is about, because the size is about 500 square feet, so end up is about 400,000 or less than that. Okay, and then there's about 10% of it is bigger size unit, so which selling price at about 800 or 800 over 1,000. Those units we are targeting foreign buyers, 800 over 1,000 to 1 million. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
And then as for your question, we are still comfortable with the price that we are selling, which is 300 to 600,000. So we have not yet have any plan to increase the price. I mean, moving from 600 to above 600,000. So we are still comfortable with the 300,000 to 600,000. And of course, if the next cycle coming, so then we'll see how, because from my experience during my early days, early 2000, when we sell a property in Setapak, the price is only 150,000 per unit. So of course, time after time, when the property demand is getting stronger, then of course we have to increase the price to 200 over 1,000, 300 over 1,000, until now it's about 300 to 600,000. So I do not foresee to increase the price for the next 5 years, but then who knows, maybe after 5 years or maybe within this 5 years there's another property boom cycle coming, then we'll see how to readjust the price.
Okay, yeah, just to interrupt, the one question, follow-up question. So the price range is around 300 to 600. That means in the 5 years time or future products in the upcoming 5 years, Dato don't see like you'll be building properties that are much more expensive at the moment yet.
No, because what we have in pipeline, we're going to launch in year 2024 or early 2025. So it's only short period of time, is about like 2 years time. So in this 2 year time, the project that we launch, we will still maintain at a price at 300,000 to 600,000. So for all these launches, it could last us for the next 5 years. The total GDP for all these projects is going to be 3.4 billion. Yeah, so
Okay.
it lasts us for the next 5 years.
Thank you. All right. So there's a questions from our audience. So the question is, building material, all right, started to increase, all right, all the time, and this is something that we cannot avoid. And can you guys, the management, share like forecast, or how do you guys usually solve this problem every time? This cost of rising brick and mortar, all of this. Yeah, do you mind share with us how do you usually solve this?
We are quite disciplined in cost management, actually. Okay, so whenever QS send us the costing, we won't just take it as it is. So the management will still go through, and then because our family background, we started off with building material business. So up until today, the business is still running. So we have the ability to source a cheaper material, but the quality is still not going to be a compromise. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I think we can really see it from the margin, right? Especially gross profit margin. It's at quite a high double digit, 20% and above. That is quite impressive comparatively to the other industry. Okay. Now next questions that I have. All right. By the way, thank you AP99 weird name for asking. All right. I hope you have the answer that's being shared by the management. All right. So the next question that I have still under business. All right. Then I'm gonna move into financials because I think there are others really interested with the numbers as well, because it's like, wow, property, this number can that kind of.
I have question as well.
We have that kind of double check. Is this a property company or not? Yeah. Now, what I want to understand better is on the hotel part. All right. So there's a two-part questions. The first question is, what makes the management to sort of like suddenly jump into business management? Like, what makes you to go to this direction? All right. Yeah. And the second one is, how do you see this hotel management business going to be, especially in your segment information? Are we going to see by 5 years or 10 years, it's going to be 50-50 contributing to the sales of the company, or it's going to be a sort of like maintaining 20% or 30%, or even bigger than the property business that you are running now? Yeah.
I answer your second part of the question first. For us, our core business is still on property development. So we do not intend to grow the hotel business. So this is sort of like one-off projects. So because reason being, the location wise is between the two hospitals, so we could target the medical tourists. So that's why, and also this location is very strategic. Just within a 5 minutes drive, you can use the Ackley highway straight go into the KLCC parking. So location wise, we believe it's suitable to build a hotel there. And then also we have invited the international brand to come and take a site visit. They are also quite interested to operate their hotel business in this location. Okay, and also under the Ipsos feasibility study, also the study showed that maybe year 2026 onwards, the tourists should go back to pre-pandemic level, which is around 26 million visitors. Yeah. Okay.
All right, thank you. So just to clarify the idea that the information that you share. So this business hotel started because you have the ideal landmark between two hospitals,
Yeah.
And this basically give you the opportunity to start this recurring business.
Yes.
I see. All right, that's good. So can I say that let's say, after this hotel business management, specifically on this landmark between two hospital completed, are you going to look into another similar opportunity specifically for this kind of segment as well, the hotel business management?
Yeah, we won't rule out the possibility. If the price is competitive, I mean the land price is competitive and the location is as good as this one, then we might venture into the second hotel business. But again, that is not our core business.
I
So
see.
our core
All
business
right.
is still
Property.
focusing in a property segment.
Got it. All right, understand. Okay. Okay, so there's another questions by Chiang. All right, so the question is, normally, how long do you need to complete a project? I think this question is quite general. Maybe you can give an idea, especially for those that, I'm not in this industry, so I'm not sure 1 billion GDV equals to how many years? Yeah, that kind of idea.
Okay, usually for one project is if let's say before that, when we have project, the size is about 500 units. 500 units, let's say talking about 400,000 per unit. Okay, so that kind of size of project is only we can able to complete it within 3 years. But if we are talking about 1 billion GDP of project, so because the size is quite big, we are building 2,400 units, so it could easily take us 4 years. So within 4 years to realize all the 1 billion GDP revenue.
Thank you for sharing. Okay, so Zengi, any other questions on the business model before we move on to financials? By the way, guys, if you have any questions, just feel free to ask. This is the only time that we are able to get them sit down with us. We only have like few more minutes left. Please ask any question that can help you to understand better about Radium and how they're going to move this company to a better version of themselves. All right.
Maybe I just add on a bit about just now the hotel. Okay, for the hotel business, for that project, it's not just the hotel alone, right? There's 944 units of Soho units on top of these hotels. Okay. So if we able to engage with a international brand to operate this 4-star hotel, that could elevate the entire property value. So it's also good for our buyers. Yeah.
Okay, so that means if let's say there is an international brand managing that hotel part, those that invest and bought the Soho project might have a booster in terms of price of their property to a much more higher price.
Imagine I take for example Hilton is coming in. So if you own a unit at Chancery, so are you going to tell people that, hey, I'm staying at Chancery, or you are going to tell people that I'm staying in
near Hilton?
So that's completely different, right?
Okay, that's
okay. I think there's 2 questions. One is a private question. It's quite a funny question, but let me share this question. So a question by Kobu. All right, he was asking for environmental link project, meaning I assume that this is included with there's a lot of ESG or greenery, design. How will the price range will be, right? Is it more expensive than the common property or the traditional standard property?
Yeah, definitely it will be more expensive. Definitely it will be more expensive. That's why for currently for Malaysia, it's still not viable to be really build a building fully environmental friendly. So that's why for us, the project, we are only able to get a gold certificate. So the highest is a platinum. So if you able to get a platinum, I'm sure the price is easily more than 1 million.
Wow. Okay.
All right, thank you. Okay, now I'm gonna move to financials. All right, there are a few questions that I have prepared, especially for financial. The first question is, regarding on margins, right? Because when I look into the financials highlights, for me, I'm quite happy if, let's say, I'm investing on a company with double-digit margin. All right, but the concern I usually have, especially on the brick and mortar business, is usually this kind of business usually facing a challenges where rising costs, and then this will impact either your margin, or you need to increase your sales, and this will impact to the seller, right? And you have shared on how you guys manage your costs. Okay, so my question will be, what are the comfortable margin do you guys usually see whenever you discuss on discussing on cost? What are the margin that you usually want your financial statement to be? Okay, that's the first question. And the second question is, what's the highest cost contributing to the business, and how do you manage this issue if, let's say, things happen? Yeah.
For us, the margin is gross margin is between 30 to 40%.
Yeah.
Net wise is around 20%. Yeah. So the major contribution probably is it varies. Some of the project probably is the major contribution of the cost is the land cost. Yeah.
Land cost.
But usually for our project, the land cost take up is just less than 20%. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
So there's just to share, there's a benchmark, like when you're planning the project, the target of the project is to kind of like hit gross profit margin of around 30%, like what you mentioned just now, and a net of around 20%. And yeah, I'm really impressed, with the result has been delivered. It's like, wow, seriously, very consistent.
We can achieve it during the MCO lockdown period. So we are still very confident that we can achieve it for the next couple of years.
Yeah, and just now you shared just now the take-up rate also is like within 6 months, I think longest is now a year, you can able to achieve that. That means based on what you shared just now, just to conclude, 4 years or 5 years for a $1 billion GDV project, and then it takes like 6 months to maybe a year to like completely sort out everything, and your margins is like 20% net. Wow, so impressive.
Banks, I can say bank like to work with us, or also don't like to work with us. When bank don't like to work with us, because we can repay the loan very quickly.
Oh.
Yeah. When they like to work with us is because our project can sell. Their risk very low.
Any benchmark of like your company's balance is like on the debt to equity ratio or gearing ratio that you're trying to achieve? Is like every time try to achieve net cash, or there's a benchmark that you want to hit to maintain that stable away in the company balance sheet?
Yeah, we are still maintaining about 0.24 to 25 around there. Yeah.
Okay. So
and
that's the question.
Yeah, and just to follow up with Deng Yi's question, I understand the reason why you guys ensure that the gearing ratio is at least below 0.25 is to allow yourself to capture that opportunity where the moment you see a huge cheaper landmark that you can directly tag, and then you can just use this tools. All right. Okay, so there's a question from Leah here. All right, the question is, what's the challenges that you're facing? All right, major challenges in property business. Yeah, I think this is a general question. Maybe you can just share. What do you think? Every day, Dr. Gary, you wake up, the first thing that makes your head scratch is that, maybe you can share with us.
I always tell people for this challenge that I face is 20 years ago the buyer's mentality and 20 years later is completely different. So buyers they have more and more knowledge about properties, right? And then their requirement for the property, the quality wise also keep on improving. So our challenge is what we need to do is keep on improving the quality. Yeah. And then of course, hopefully there's not another round of pandemic happen, because if pandemic happen, everybody suffered.
Yes.
Yeah.
True.
Mm.
Okay. Another questions. Okay. Thank you. Liam said thank you. So another questions by Kobu. What's the plus point of Radium projects, right? In general, compared to your competitors, any of the competitors that you are facing? What makes you different or what makes you unique?
Yeah, if you look at the slide just now, our land is very strategic. Okay, so strategic, price-wise is affordable. So those are the plus point that we have. And then the design-wise also, we intend to design a unit that is fully utilize the space, rather than sometimes some design is quite odd and then waste a lot of space. For us, the space is quite spacious, yeah, and the price is affordable. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. So I think the most how you manage to build this kind of property always start with a affordable landmark that you manage to acquire and secure, and then start the project from there. That's really interesting to learn. Okay, so we are at the almost at the end of the session. So I would like to ask, there's few questions from me. So for those that are watching now, I think there's like a lot of you guys here. If you have any questions, please ask your questions now, but I'm gonna choose like top 2 to 3 questions so that we can make sure that we end this session properly. Now, my question is, okay, it's a general questions, okay, it's a 2 questions. So the question will be, the first question is, what makes the management usually stay up late every day whenever you're dealing with day-to-day operation? What makes you stay up late, and you want to make sure that you need to get this thing done before you can call this over? Yeah, do you have this kind of challenges?
Okay, nothing much.
Wow.
Our project can sell, so, and then also our next 5 years plan also already planned out. So moving forward, we are going to just busy, keep selling our launch. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Okay, so I think there's 2 last questions from audience. One is, let me refresh this question, the project. Okay, so the question is, whenever you start a project, do you take the money from the buyers first, or you start building and then you promote? Yeah.
Usually for property, you are governed by the HDA, which is progressively when you build, when the building completed until which stage, you send the building to claim. Yeah, of course we have one component that we sold is under PPAM, which is for pejabat awam, for government servant. For that is 1090, meaning to say it's only you can build first 10%, and then once the building completed, then only you can build the balance 90%. But usually for most of the project is like usual, progressively you complete which state, then you build a buyer to collect the money. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Okay, so another question is, so Dato, Gary, maybe you can share. Whenever you select, you want to buy a land, right, to build your property, your next project, what are the key factors that you are looking into? Like what makes you say, oh, this is a good investment?
Yeah. First, probably it has to be strategic. Strategic in the sense near LRT or MRT. Like just now I shared with you all our completed project or ongoing project. Some of the project we have either 1 or 2 of the element, which is within walking distance to a LRT or MRT station, or is easy accessible to the major highway, or is nearby the hospital, school, or shopping center. That is the main criteria. When we look at the land, that's the main criteria we are going to consider if we are going to purchase the piece of land or not.
All right, thank you so much. All right, so now I have last questions from Payne here. So the question is, what kind of role Radium is playing in the building management to ensure that the management to be able to manage and run the building after you guys have built it and run it
Sold
off.
it.
Yeah, sold it.
We have QA/QC. Actually, we have a QA/QC department to foresee all the quality and the complaints and everything. So also, if you look at from our previous experience, all our past project, it's also managed by our appointed friendly party, which they are doing their good job. So that's why if you say I can survive in a startup for more than 80 years, so I would say the quality should be maintained, should be able to maintain in certain level. Yeah. Otherwise, how people is going to continuously buying my property in that area for the 18 years. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, for sharing, your answer. Okay, so we are at the end of this session. So before we end, okay, my last question is, whenever someone say, your company names like Radium, what do you want the investor or those that listen or hear your company names thinks about you? Like whenever I hear like Nike or Nike sell, like
Just do it.
shoe. Yeah. And then you have like this slogan, just do it. So whenever, I say Radium, what do you want the audience or investor to know this company stands for what?
Okay, I started my career with a platinum victory.
Mhm.
Okay, so happened when I want to form this Radium, so happened that I look at the periodic table of chemical element. So
Oh.
Okay.
under platinum is listed at number 78, the atomic number. Okay, so for radium is even better, 88. So for Chinese, you say papa. Okay. So what I want to achieve, what I try to achieve is for the investor who join in, okay, we can grow the wealth together
Together.
for the long term. Yeah.
That's an interesting,
Yeah.
from property.
So when you think of a radium, your brain immediately think of 88 and then grow the wealth together. Yeah.
All right. So
Wow,
guys, that's basically, what we can learn from Dato today. Now, before we end, all right, there are two things that I wanted to ask Dato Gary and Dato Sydney. Any final, comment or things that you wanted to share for our audience before we sort of end this whole session for Miss Sam as well? Yeah, maybe we can start with Dato Gary first.
We'll let Dato Sini to say a word or two.
Oh yeah, okay. So is Dato Sydney here?
Yes,
Maybe you
yes.
wanted to share. Yeah, you want to share what? Give us a final say about what you want to tell the investor and everyone in this room.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. I just wanted to invite all of you who are listening in to take the position that I have taken. Dato Gary and I have been business partners for 18 years, and he is a dynamic young managing director. So this is one of the key advantages of investing in a company like Radium. The management team that he has built, they are loyal to him. And when the company is led by a dynamic leader, I think the prospects are good, especially when we also focus on good governance. So for me, as his partner, I'm very excited. I'm very happy that the company has reached this point where we can take the company take the company for listing and to offer the shares to all of you as potential new investors, and for you to be invited now as our future partners. This is definitely an interesting opportunity. I encourage all of you, please have a look at the prospectus. We have put in a lot of effort to be very transparent. We have shared a lot of information there. I think tonight's session is very, very good. At least you have a chance to hear from the MD himself. For me, as a long-term investor, 18 years partner with him, we are looking forward to seeing how he will grow Radium into certainly into the next blue chip counter of Bursa Malaysia. So that's what I hope we can achieve tonight. If you have more questions, please reach out to any of the panelists even after the session. We are always open and transparent. And look forward to seeing some of you at the shareholders meeting next year. All right. Good night.
Right.
All right. Thank you so
Dato'
much, Dato' Sydney, for the wonderful speech. Yeah. So, Dato' Gary, maybe you wanted to, chip in anything from your end.
I just probably want to say something. For those investors who already committed, thank you for the vote of confidence. Okay, so our team will work hard. And we work even harder. Came listing date, the price, the floor is set. Okay, so the sky is the limit. So that's what I'm trying to achieve moving forward. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Gary. Any last word from you, Miss Sam?
For me, I just want to highlight that we are growing, and then every year we also target to launch 1 billion GDP for the coming every years. So we are a growing company. So for me, all is money. So we also hope a lot of money will come in to us, and then we have a lot of profit, and then we can distribute the dividend to all of you.
Thank you.
Wow,
Thank you so much. Yeah, so guys, just to share with you, all right, we are really fortunate we're able to, get quality time with Dato' Gary, Miss Sam, and also Dato' Sydney to come with us, and they themselves, all right, share the story about Radium Development Berhad. And just to share with you guys, all right, for those that, you guys are interested, you think, you wanted to, once you learn the whole ideas that we have during this 1 hour session, you listen to the presentation by Dato' Gary and Miss Sam, and you think that, you wanted to learn more, maybe you can just sort of like, approach us. That's one. Second is you can go ahead and look into the prospectus. Maybe you can just go and Google, right? Google, just YouTube, Radium, or, just go through their prospectus. Okay. Remember, the closing date is on 16 May. So now it's around 9 days left for you to, think through and, do your due diligence to understand what does this company is all about. Okay. So just to give you, a support, okay. Just specifically for this company, Radium, we are planning to have a Telegram group, which the objective of this Telegram group is just to make sure that if, let's say, you are decided, you think you want to participate, what you can do is you can just scan this QR code and then you will be invited in that Telegram group. So what's the function of this Telegram group? The function of this Telegram group is to allow, the M+ team to assist you on how to apply this IPO. Okay, so regardless of whatever platform that they use, all right, so it basically, if you don't really understand or you never apply IPO before, so you can just scan this QR code and then you will be invited into a Telegram group, and this Telegram group will help you and assist you in making sure that whenever you apply an IPO, you do it in a proper manner. All right, but again, I want to make sure that everyone understand that, this whole session is for you to learn and, reach the management directly. All right, so I hope, those that join, all right, please give, this type love for the management so that, we show our appreciation. They have spent their time here, and also, they give us a lot of quality comment and also sharing. Right, this I don't think you can get this from prospectus. I don't even know, Radium is 88. I mean, this idea is like, wow, out of the box. Okay, so yeah, thank you so much for the love. Thank you so much for your time. So yeah, so I think, we will end our session now. Okay, so I will leave this webinar on for another 1 minute just to allow others to scan this QR code. For Dato' Gary and Dato' Siti and Miss Sam, you can just leave the room and then we can call it a day. All right, so again, appreciate your time and have a lovely night, right? Tomorrow working day.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye
Thank you very
bye.
much, Dato'
Thank you,
Gary,
everyone.
Dato' Sydney, and
Thank you.
Miss
Bye-bye.
Sam. Thank you very
Thank you.
much.